Greetings guys, and welcome to the 4th episode of MakeUseOf's Video Game Hub. As always, I am Dave LeClaire, gaming editor for MakeUseOf.com, and I'm here to bring you through this journey of the top 5 video game stories of the week. So kick back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, let's kick this off with our 5th story of the week. This week, Sony is issuing update 1.60 to the PlayStation 4, and while not a huge update, it does add support for wireless headsets, specifically the Sony headsets. So Sony has just announced 2 7.1 surround sound headsets. These will now be supported by the system, which means you can play games with full surround sound without annoying your neighbors or your sleeping children or your wife or whoever else. So that's always a good thing. Also, it allows you to now mute the PlayStation camera microphone, which was a pretty serious annoyance for many gamers because it was always on when you had the camera plugged in. So if you're playing a multiplayer game while trying to have a conversation with somebody in your house, everyone you're playing with could hear your conversation, and who really wants that, you know? So now you can mute that. It's a nice feature. It's not an update that's going to change the functionality of the PlayStation 4 beyond belief or anything like that. Yeah, I said beyond. That's a good pun because that's the whole Sony thing and beyond. Okay, that was a bad joke. That's okay. We'll keep going anyway, right? So that's it. 1.60 is here. You can now download it to your PlayStation and enjoy. Alright, let's keep this party moving. Let's jump to the 4th story of the week, and that is that the PC specs for Titanfall have been revealed. So all the gamers who've been wondering whether or not their computer is going to be able to run it, now you're about to find out. First, you're going to need 64-bit Windows 7, 8, or 8.1. Pretty standard, most people have that. As far as the processor goes, you're going to need an AMD Athlon X2 2.8 GHz or an Intel Core 2 Duo 2.4 GHz. So those are not exactly bleeding edge processors, so most gaming PCs should have that and be able to run that without a problem. You're also going to need 4 gigs of RAM, which again, most computers have at least 4 gigs of RAM. You'll even find it hard to do most everyday computing tasks if you don't have that much RAM. And you're going to need a 512 megabyte graphics card. It's going to either need to be a AMD Radeon HD 4770 or an NVIDIA GeForce 8800 GT. So those are mid-range graphics cards, not exactly the best of the best. They're not a NVIDIA Titan or anything like that, but they are decent graphics cards, so that's where your money's going to go. Now, this is the minimum specs for Titanfall, not the recommended specs. There's always those 2 sections with a game. There's minimum, which is, this is the bare minimum to run the game, and recommended, which is this is what you need to run it optimally. They've not released the recommended specs yet, so we'll have to wait and see on that one, but they're usually about double. So you're gonna look at 8 gigs of RAM, you know, Intel, you know, and so on. The other thing is they did reveal that Origin is gonna be required to play Titanfall on PC, which of course pissed everybody off because everybody hates Origin, but I don't know how anybody really took this as a surprise. It's an EA game. Of course it's gonna require EA's service to run. So PC specs, Origin, Titanfall is coming soon. We're only like a month and a couple weeks away, so it's time to start getting excited. Alright, let's keep it moving with our 3rd story of the week. Microsoft is bringing 2 updates to the Xbox One. The first update, which is going to drop on February 11th, is going to add support for manually managing the storage on your console, so no longer will it just delete the game you haven't played recently. You can now go in and manually delete games. It's going to add a battery indicator for the controller on the screen, as it was on the Xbox 360, which is a feature that should have been there from the very beginning. And it's going to add support for USB keyboards, which is always a good thing. Now on March 4th, the big update is coming, and that is the one in preparation of Titanfall. That is the one that's going to make all the big changes to the party system because, as we've established, the party system on the Xbox One leaves a lot to be desired. So, March 4th, they're going to put out a big update. It's supposed to fix everything, which will be perfect because Titanfall, being a multiplayer-only game, is going to need a solid party system in place, and it looks like Microsoft's going to have that covered. Alright, we're getting to the number 2 story of the week, and this is a story that absolutely nobody wanted. It's a game that nobody wanted, but it's a game that's coming. Sonic Boom. No, I'm not talking about Guile dropping a Sonic Boom. I'm talking about a Sonic the Hedgehog game called Sonic Boom, which is one of those Sonic games that's not all about running and running fast in a side-scrolling platformer. Oh no, it's one of those crappy Sonic games with story and talking, and Sega, I don't know, they just keep reaching into that Sonic well and trying to make a game, and that this is going to be the Sonic game that everybody wants, and it never is. And something tells me that this is going to be another example of a Sonic game that nobody wanted, but it's coming. Sonic Boom. Here's the trailer. Why don't you watch it? Try to get excited. It's that time again. Time to move into the #1 news story of the week, and this is a pretty big one. Activision has announced that Treyarch will not be making 2014's Call of Duty game, which has always alternated between Infinity Ward and Treyarch. Now, this year, Sledgehammer Games is going to be making the 2014 game, and they're going to be switching to a 3-year development cycle for each of the Call of Duty games. So now it'll be every 3rd year an Infinity Ward, every 3rd year a Treyarch, every 3rd year a Sledgehammer. Activision has said that this is to allow more time for making the games, as well as making DLC and what they call micro DLC, which they say is a big business opportunity for them. So it has some good and some bad. On the good side, it gives the developers more time to make Call of Duty games, which will hopefully make for better Call of Duty games. But that micro DLC is a little concerning, and with all the stuff with Forza 5 and the microtransactions, it's a little scary to start thinking about that coming into Call of Duty more, and with them having more time to implement those. I'm all fine with map packs, those are fine. That's always been a part of first-person shooters. That's been a part of games forever. But all these little dollar here, dollar there, XP boost kind of stuff, that's a little scary. But stay positive, let's think of the good side. We now have more time for Call of Duty games to be made, and for fans of the series, the last game was a little stale, so hopefully this helps them to kind of freshen things up, make games different. Having a whole new developer come in and make it. Sledgehammer has worked on DLC before, but to have them come in and put their own spin on the game, I mean, lately Treyarch's been making better Call of Duties than Infinity Ward, so who knows, maybe Sledgehammer will start making better than Treyarch, and Call of Duty will get back to its former glory where it was at Call of Duty 4. Only time will tell, but this is definitely a big change to the way that Activision handles that franchise, and hopefully it means good things going forward for us gamers. Oh hey, you guys are still here? Awesome. I was playing some Rad Racer over here. We've made it through the episode 4 in the books. You can now brag to your friends and tell them that you know more about the world of video games than they do, because Dave LeClaire, gaming editor for MakeUseOf.com with Video Game Hub, has told you all about it. You are now smarter. You're welcome. Oh, and also, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to click the subscribe button right here so you never miss another episode of Video Game Hub and all the other awesome content that we bring you here at Make Use Of. And once again, thank you very much. See you next week.